Have you ever looked around where you live and thought, is this really it? Your town is not terrible, your life isn't falling apart, but everything feels, well, bare, unetched. It's not ugly, it's not the most destitute part of the country, but it just seems to lack a clear sense of who it is. It's as though you're living in a place that doesn't really inspire you to become anything more than who you already are. And if you ask why, I'd say part of that comes from history. In countries that were colonized, entire generations were taught to admire foreign cultures while slowly forgetting their own. And those generations raised generations, and those raised generations. And the result, it creates this kind of confusion about who we are. When people lose touch with their cultural identity, places can begin to lose theirs too. Buildings become copies of somewhere else. You stop reflecting local traditions, and eventually you end up with places that feel strangely empty. Places that aren't necessarily bad, just unedged, as if no one knows what they're supposed to be. But here's the question I've been thinking about. If you live in an environment that feels uninspiring, whether because of history, culture, economics, or simply circumstance, how do you actually thrive there? If you're a creative, someone who wants to have a different path, or someone who just wants to build a meaningful life, how can you actually thrive in a place that doesn't seem to inspire one? So I made this video because I don't have a clue as well, and I'm trying to cope here, so no, you're not alone, because a lot of us are still trying to figure things out, and a lot of us at some point may have been called out by the quote, inspiration comes from within. And as much as people love to say this, and I want to believe it myself, I can't help but to argue that an individual's environment matters, and it goes deeper than we think. The places we spend our lives shape our habits, our ambitions, our conversations, and it shapes the motives, patterns, texture, and the visual identity of a place. So, in some small cities and towns, what does it make of us if we don't see any distinct patterns? It may look very busy at times, but the busyness doesn't hide the unembellished walls. It doesn't hide the fact that everyone around you seems stuck in the same routines, talking about the same things, and chasing the same goals. And the moment you start noticing, a small shift happens. You promise yourself many things. You start dreaming big. So you plan, you fall short, you restart, you wait till you graduate, and you begin to wait even more, and more, till you convince yourself to think that an opportunity might just find its way towards you. So you wait for that better city on your vision board. You wait for the better chapter of your life. You wait to finally start becoming the person you want to be. Maybe next year, in your 20s, when you graduate from university. But what if that's the trap? I think one of the biggest mistakes we make is believing that our environment must inspire us before we take action. We act as if motivation arrives first and growth follows. But actually, a lot of people, a lot of artists, and a lot of visionaries didn't start in inspiring places. They create inspiration where they are. In a way, this plant in the Philippines does exactly that. Scientists found that this plant, called the Renoria nicolifera, acts like a natural soil cleaner. Yet it's growing in a place covered in garbage. It's improving its environment instead of waiting for a better one. Nobody cultivated its surroundings to be ideal. It simply found a way even though its environment gave it very little or even awful things to work with. And I've been thinking about it when people talk about potential. I think at the moment, We are so obsessed with perfecting our conditions. We tell ourselves, I'll start when I move somewhere better. I'll create when I have more space. I'll become who I want to be when I move to another country. I'll start doing content once I have an iPhone. I've really been telling myself these things as well in the past years. I believed it was only going to be possible to start bringing my ideas to life once I have all these things set. But I somehow managed without these things. Right now, you're even watching this video that's made out of years of hesitations. And the moment you realize that you can also outgrow hesitance, avoidance, delays, and even without the perfect condition you've been waiting for, is the moment you actually thrive. But just to clarify, I am not saying these things to be passive, nor to have people continue to romanticize resilience and living in the worst conditions. Because I also believe that the government must take care of its people. So no, that's not what I'm saying here. The key message here is bettering yourself in order to make a difference. To do this, to thrive, you have to begin cultivating yourself. Treat yourself as both the plant and the gardener by being surrounded with things that'll actually broaden your branches, your perspective, and most importantly, you thrive when you're grounded, when you know your roots. Believe it when I tell you as well that the very fact you've made it this far in watching means you aren't deprived of all resources. The fact you have the internet right now means you can start reading a book, watch some tutorials, and consume more intentionally. Because think of it, in a connected world, your physical location matters less than it used to. Right now, it is your curiosity and discipline that matters more. The values you build, the things you learn and unlearn, the boundaries you set, and even the people you choose to be a part of your circle. And when you think about these, you realize that despite many things in life being out of your control, you have some choice over certain things. You have the privileges to choose the beliefs you internalize. You can believe that just because opportunities are limited around you doesn't mean your thinking has to be. Just because nobody else is pursuing something doesn't mean you can't. Just because your surroundings feel stagnant doesn't mean you have to be. Because life is already unfair, so you don't make it your job to treat yourself more unfairly. Here's another thing that no one really tells you. No environment stays inspiring forever. Even dream cities become ordinary. Even exciting opportunities become routine. Even some beautiful places become familiar. So the real challenge isn't finding a place that inspires you forever. It's learning how to stay curious wherever you are and building your own momentum, because only then will inspiration follow. So no, maybe thriving isn't about escaping an uninspiring environment just yet. Maybe for some it's about proving to yourself first that growth can happen anywhere, that your potential isn't determined by the uninspiring town you live in, that meaning isn't something a place gives you but is something you create. And perhaps the most inspiring thing you can do is build a remarkable life in a place where nobody really expects one. So, hi, I'm Chris, and welcome to my channel where I'll post my journey as a creative who lives in a small city somewhere in the Philippines. And if you like this video, don't be shy to give a thumbs up and a follow to help you stay tuned. I'm also open for questions and thoughts, so I'm just going to leave the comment section open. I think that's it for now. I'll see you in the next post.